ship coming out. Oh, what are you doing? They're coming out.
Are they?
Yes.
The food's coming out? I can't see.
Right ahead of us. And welcome to Croatia. Yes, we made it to Dubrovnik, though it was quite a rough ride.
Yeah, it's the worst thunderstorm by some margin that we've been in. It came straight out really fast to get us, and yeah, we really couldn't get away from it.
And it wasn't predicted. I have to say, the last couple of weeks, predict wind has been pretty haphazard. I've been planning our day trips along the coast, and nothing's ever panned out.
To be fair though, predict wind's not great for thunderstorms. I've got another app now that does predict them, and that seems to be pretty good. So we're keeping watch on that because the thunderstorms are still around now.
But it hasn't all been bad news. We have picked up our youngest daughter, Millie. That was fun.
Yeah, that's really nice because COVID's meant we haven't been back. We normally try and go back to visit the girls, every few months, and it's been a long time. So great to have her on board.
And we started our trip in Italy, of course. So I hope you like the film. Coming up, what it's like to be caught in the middle of a spectacular lightning storm. Meeting Millie and her friends for a celebratory holiday. And leaving Italy. For the time being, we will be back. We're just getting ready to leave now, and we're going to go around the corner in southern Italy before we head off for Croatia in a couple of days. We were going to go in and re-provision this morning, but in fact we looked at the wind charts and it is much better to leave now. It's going to all drop off this afternoon. So we'll probably re-provision tomorrow morning in our new anchorage. A bit of a risk because we don't know if there's a supermarket open there. We hope there will be. Here's Steve. He is just taking the bridle off.
The snubber has to come off first, and I can get everything else in. I always put the snubber on. There wasn't much wind and swell here, but it's very busy with boats going in, and just one of those can lift you. It does happen, and pull the anchor out. In fact, there is a boat on the shore over there on the rocks, which I would imagine exactly that's happened to. So always worth having your snubber on.
We've also done our checks. We've got enough water for the next few days. We've got enough fuel, and we are now on our way. I'm just going to have to drive the boat forward to get the anchor up.
Anchor all the way and get the sails up.
We were planning to motor sail for the first part of our trip because the wind was against us, but we were forecast a fine sail up the coast with the wind behind us for most of the day. We're heading almost directly into the wind, but in a few minutes when we go around the corner it should be ideal. It'll be on the back quarter, and then we should be able to sail until the wind drops, which is due to do at about 3 o'clock, but hopefully we'll be there by then. Except it didn't quite happen as planned.
As much as you might look at the weather forecast and see what you think's happening, quite often it just doesn't work out that way. So instead of having a nice 10 knots on the beam, which is why we waited for today, we've got 20-25 knots on the nose. So unfortunately, we can't sail really straight into that. So we're just motor sailing, and I'm getting my morning shower at the same time. That ended up taking quite a lot longer than we thought it was. The forecast was just wrong. It was on the nose all the way. We did manage to sail quite a bit of the end of it as the wind dropped a little bit, but we did have to tack all the way up here, so it took a while. So yeah, we're going to settle in for the night, do the provisioning in the morning. We're hoping to get that done today. It's quite a big town here, quite a lot of supermarkets apparently on the map, so we can do that then. We did have all the hatches closed though, so it's quite hot down below. I'll try and open up as much as I can, and one of the best ways of doing that I've found is leaving the dinghy actually on top. Acts as an extra scoop. I can pull the halyard and heave it up, and then just come round and open them underneath. And it all sort of acts as a big air scoop to really get the air in there. Added benefit of having the dinghy on the deck. There's one of the lovely Italian motorboats.
Wow, that was a noisy boat. But once it left the anchorage, we had a lovely evening in Otranto.
We've got to try this wine. This is the wine, if you watched the last episode, which came from which island? Well, the Sicilian island.
Selina.
Selina, that's right. And they have this dark red wine. It's what they, just what they like there. It's for hundreds of years they've produced this sort of wine. Well, it's really nice. It's not what I'd choose to drink in this heat.
I saw a gentleman at one of the restaurants drinking it at lunchtime,
That's what,
and I thought
yeah,
that is good.
You're being
That's
generous.
hardcore.
I think it was about 9:30 in the morning.
Oh really? I still thought that was good. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's a local thing. I think they just have little
Yeah, a little bit of it.
half glasses of it. It's quite strong. Wind was completely wrong today, wasn't it? If it's wrong tomorrow, then I will cry, because tomorrow and the day after we should have this fantastic southerly breeze that will take us up and across to Dubrovnik
And push us over.
Yeah.
But this is nice, and tomorrow is another day.
And it's not too rocky in here.
No, it's
because
fine.
it's very open. That's the other thing about this coast. There's not a lot of shelter from the prevailing winds, but actually it's fine, isn't it? This is good. It's very freaky looking catamaran over there.
We were planning an overnight trip to Dubrovnik with some light to medium wind from behind. We know from experience the Predict Wind app tends to underestimate, so we expect that to mean about 20 knots, which would be perfect. We plan to get there just after lunch the next day.
This is going to be the first place that we actually have to check in Dubrovnik. Everywhere else we've been in a Schengen country, and we're still in the EU at the moment, just about as Brits, so we can just go through nicely. But now, Croatia, we've got to get into Dubrovnik. We've got to check in. So I quite like to get there in the afternoon, so we can get that done and not mess about. It's supposed to be 24 hours, but it's always better to do it during office hours if we can, and find somewhere nice to anchor over there for the night.
The sails started well, 5 to 6 knots, easy going. A beautiful sunset and an evening cinema on deck. Okay, it's just a laptop with some downloaded TV programmes, but outdoor cinema to us. Love those cinema seats. The night sail doesn't seem so arduous. In fact, we're quite looking forward to it. Then a few hours later, the wind drops, changes direction, comes back again. What is going on? Well, the wind's come back now, but it's on the port tack. We had originally thought we'd go on the starboard tack all the way to Dubrovnik, but about an hour ago the wind dropped completely, so we put the engine on. Now it's up again, but from the other side. So hey, we're just going with it. We're doing about 5 knots, so yeah, what's not to like? This, actually, lightning. A thunderstorm. It's in the distance, but by first light it's becoming a bit worrying. We put the engine on.
Hopefully without running, I don't know which way it's going.
That's why. Well, that guy was going straight into it.
I know, it's going out that way,
Yeah.
it's not going that way, but I wouldn't be going out in this.
Looks a good distance away, but we take the precaution of putting phones in the oven to act as a Faraday cage and switching all the instruments off. Then it starts raining.
Right on, let's just take it off charge, yes. You can keep it up, there's already the other one. The other ones are in the oven, but yeah, keep that for navigation, but just don't plug it in.
Okay. The iPad is now our only source of navigation. Keeping it in the doghouse seems a good idea. When it looks like the rain is going to stay, we close the hatches. Just in time, as it turns out, because within minutes it starts pouring. And then comes the storm, full on. Not wind so much as rain, like someone was throwing buckets of water at us.
It is pouring, absolutely pouring. Yeah.
It made it quite difficult to see, and we know there's a narrow gap between the islands ahead of us.
It's quite narrow, but it's quite deep.
Okay.
It's still about 18 metres.
So this is where we are. We are close to Dubrovnik, and until now the worst of the storm has been inland. But now it looks like a cell is coming out fast to meet us, and we need to work out a way to avoid getting badly hit. But one thing we need to do first, and hands up, we had completely missed this. The mainsail is still up. We can get the sail down quite quickly, but the camera took a tumble. Okay, I admit this bit is a bit scary. Heading into the wind to get the sail down has taken us completely off course. We have the island ahead of us, and I couldn't see a thing. The iPad had also fallen over at this stage. Amazingly, the camera is okay and not nearly as drenched as we are by now.
Really won't go down there again. Let's hope we go for this gap in this without being able to see.
At this stage, it was clear we had to go through the gap between the island and the mainland. It was the quicker route. Going round under normal conditions would have been fine, but the storm is right in the way. I'm not looking forward to going through that gap, but now it looks like the best option. The trick is to go through the middle. At 16 metres deep and 30 metres wide, there is space enough, but either side there are rocks and shallow water. Very little margin for error.
I don't even know which way we're supposed to be going.
The gap.
It's got 17, 18 metres in it.
Okay, good.
You just need to make sure you're telling me where to go.
Yeah, fine.
So get it really close up so I can see. Jesus.
not funny.
No.
And then I get the shock of my life. Up ahead, I see what looks like a mast coming towards me.
There's all the shit coming out. What are you doing? They're coming out.
Are they?
Yes.
The food's coming out.
Right ahead of us.
Oh no, that's not. That's the marker, darling. So you've got to go to the left of that. That's the cardinal
left
marker.
of it?
Yeah, that's the cardinal marker.
Okay.
Right, to go to port.
And that's why I need waterproof glasses.
Yeah, it's the shoal rock just the other side of that. Right, I'm going to turn the instruments back on.
Okay.
So you've got depth and stuff.
Oh wow. But nice to me. I thought that was a boat.
No, just a big cardinal marker.
Turning the instruments back on is a risk with lightning still around, but not being able to see through the rain is proving a bigger risk. And by this time, the worst is over.
All those people keep asking, can you sail Fair Isle on your own? Single-handed. It's like, not on a day like today. I think it would be really nice coming in here if it wasn't for the rain. It's quite pretty.
Okay. And to the main port building. Thank you.
As we make our way to customs, the sun comes out. No, it doesn't. I just made that bit up. But after checking in, we had a rain-free sail through the harbour out to the anchorage.
Look how enormous that is.
We're used to them cars ahead now. That's not going to get much use at the moment, is it?
No, I don't think so.
And then more rain. But at least we are anchored this time and well protected by the islands.
Yeah, shiny.
Welcome to Croatia, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Well, this morning is a completely different story. Beautiful sunshine, lighter wind, and right on the nose. So we are taking the luxury of tacking backwards and forwards for a while until we really have to be somewhere, in which case we might have to motor, depending on if the wind changes. But it's glorious. It's just absolutely lovely. Really, really beautiful, beautiful countryside.
This is quite exciting. We're coming into a village just outside Split to pick up Millie. Should be on the beach just in here somewhere. She's been here with some friends. They've been celebrating out here this week, just finishing uni. Didn't have a graduation, of course, this year because of COVID, but we've got the flags at the ready. Well done. Sign that we'll hoist up as we go in. She did very well. She got a first from Cambridge, so that's very, very tough to do. So we're very proud of her. A miracle if they go up without getting snagged on something.
Yay! She should be able to see that.
Hey, Daddy. Really wet.
Are you lovely?
It's been 6 months of COVID lockdown, travel restrictions and distance between us. Time for a holiday.
Jump! And Millie is still with us. Her friends have gone home, but she stayed to do some sailing.
Yeah, and after 21 years of trying, Dad finally convinced me to have a sailing lesson. So yeah, if you're a similar beginner like me and don't know where to start with a boat, head to Tech Corner and there's a video of my first attempt.
It's not your first attempt at a boat. We did have, I tried to teach all the girls on an Enterprise dinghy when they were very little, but yeah, much more interested in horses than boats at that stage. So it's nice that you did that, and you had some nice weather, didn't you?
That was lucky.
Yes.
You weren't in the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it had been in that thunderstorm, I think you would have just been down below and locked up somewhere. And for people that will comment about life jackets, the reason we weren't wearing life jackets in that situation is that the amount of rain that we had, there's a good chance of them going off. They're not hydrostatic release ones, ours. They will go off with water. They shouldn't do for the normal rain, but that was not normal rain. And yeah, there's a good chance of it just going off by accident. And to be honest, this boat is very stable. Sails were down, so you know we're safe in this cockpit. It's better not to have them on than to have them on.
And I think the biggest hazard was that we just couldn't see anything because of the rain. That was more than tipping around, which you might be more dangerous.
Yeah, it's the navigation in that situation as well. There's a lot to think about, and yeah, just hoping you don't get hit by lightning.
But we didn't, so that's good. And we're crossing over to Venice now, where we're going to stay for the winter. We've been invited to Certosa Marina, and we're very much looking forward to that. So that's the next trip.
You looking forward to going around?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a few days exploring Venice before I go home.
We do have to be tested as we go in, though. Anyone coming from Croatia to Italy needs a test, so we will go in to a marina, Certosa Marina, and they're going to water taxi us to the airport to get the COVID test. And then we're free to roam after that, so that would be great.
But all that's for next time. So on this occasion, thank you so much to our patrons. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks for watching.